Hello, friend. Welcome to the Sty Story YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing well. Today, in this video, I'm going to tell you my story about my experiences at school and how I learned English. In this story, I talk about the classes I attended, my teachers, and other students from different countries in my class. I also discuss my challenges and successes in learning English and share the advice I received from my teachers. The next day is Wednesday, and I go to school again. I am happy that I go to this class not only because of our teacher, but also because there are students from many different countries. In our class, some students are from Europe, some students are from South America. There's also one student from Japan and one from South Korea. This is good for me because the students don't speak my native language. When I speak to them, I have to use only English. It is very good for my practice. Today, we have another new student in our class. Her name is Sarah, and she is from Argentina. At the beginning of the lesson, Sarah says that she thinks she doesn't have a talent for studying languages, but wants to work hard to improve. My teacher asks her, "Why do you think that you don't have a talent?" She answers, "I think that I don't have a talent because my sister learns English very fast, but for me, it is difficult." Then our teacher asks everybody in the class, "Do you think that you have a talent for learning languages? Please put your hand up if you believe that you have a talent." I look around the class, and nobody puts their hands up. My teacher smiles, then she says, "Now, I want to tell you something. Many people think that you need to have a talent if you want to learn a new language." I agree. Yes, you need to have a talent if you want to learn a new language, but I also believe that you already have a talent for learning languages. Why do you have a talent? You have a talent because you have already learned one language, which is your native language. You were successful at learning your native language, and you spoke that language fluently. All people who can learn their native language have a talent for learning languages. Why do many students believe that they are not talented? The reason is this. Some people are super talented. Yes, it is true. These super talented people remember new words very fast and for a longer time. Maybe you know these people. Maybe it is somebody at your work or in your family. There are not many of these people, but they exist. I believe that this might be Sarah's sister as well. Learning a new language is fun for these people, and they can do it easily. Sarah says that it is true that her sister is better than everybody else. Our teacher continues, "It is true that these super talented people exist. It is a fact, and we cannot do anything about it. Yet it is not a problem. The problem is that we compare ourselves to these people, and if we don't learn as fast as they do, we think that we are not talented. I want to ask you for one thing. Please do not compare yourself to these super talented people. Yes, they are lucky and have an advantage, but you might be lucky too, and you are super talented at other things. Maybe you are more talented than others when you learn to sing, swim, play tennis, count numbers, cook, or repair hair or cars. People are not all the same. It is the beauty of this world. Now you can believe that you are also talented, maybe not super talented, but talented. When you believe that you are talented, learning English will be easier for you. These words from our teacher are very helpful for us. I know that I am talented at playing football and tennis. Now I know that I am also talented at learning English. It is great. What is also great is that there is a school party in the evening. I look forward to this party. I know that some girls from our class are going there. I hope that our new student Sarah is also going to the party. I have known Sarah for only one day, but I like her a lot. If you can speak your native language, then you have a talent for learning English and how to speak fluently. On Monday, I go to school again. Our teacher asked us how Friday's school party was. One student says that the party was great. We had a lot of drinks and a lot of fun. The girls from our class enjoyed the party as well. I enjoyed the party a lot because Sarah was there. I could talk to her, and we danced together. It was all very nice. There were also two boys from my football team at the party. These boys were from Brazil. Their English skills were basic. They could speak only in short sentences, but they were extremely funny at the party. They made a lot of jokes about life in England, about other players from our team, and girls from their class. Everybody laughed. Their sentences were very short, with only 3 or 4 words, but they were able to speak fluently. When we spoke about the party, I told my teacher, It was really interesting to see that somebody who doesn't know many words can already speak fluently. I know some students who are at a much higher level and have a hard time speaking. My teacher says, "This is interesting. I can tell you that the two boys from your football team showed you what all students should do. The boys used what they knew. They cared only about what was important, which was communication." Then one girl asks, "So what should we do if we want to speak English fluently? Should we go to parties and make jokes?" My teacher says, "First, let me explain what fluent speaking is." Many students think that fluent speaking is fast speaking with a lot of words and perfect grammar. However, there is a better, more correct definition of fluent speaking. Fluent speaking is speaking without long pauses. Some people can do it at 1,000 words, and some people can do it at 2,000 words. Yet some people know 3,000 words and aren't able to speak fluently. If you want to speak fluently, you have to practice speaking. There is no other way to improve your fluency. Speaking is a physical activity. It is like playing a musical instrument. If you want to play the violin, you need to train the connection between your brain and the muscles in your fingers. When you want to speak well, you need to train the connection between your brain and the muscles in your mouth. If the connection between your brain and your mouth is not regularly trained, you can't speak fluently, no matter how many words you know. You can't complain that you can't speak fluently if you don't practice speaking often. Maybe you have this experience. You meet a foreigner who wants to speak with you in English. You want to say ideas that are in your head, but you aren't able to do it. You can't find the right words. Then, when you end the conversation and play it back in your head, you see that you actually know the right words, but by then the conversation is already finished. Why do you experience such situations? Because you have little training. Your speaking isn't automatic. It is not automatic because you don't practice it often enough. When you want to speak fluently, I recommend speaking for at least 30 minutes a day. You can speak to a real person. If you don't have a real person to speak to, you can think aloud. It is necessary to think aloud and not only think in your head. You need to practice the connection between your brain and your muscles. You can do this by thinking aloud. Does it make sense? Yes, says the girl. If you want to speak fluently, speak for 30 minutes every day. What is the best school? In the next lesson, one of the students asks an interesting question. She says, "Next week, I am going home. I would like to continue studying in my country. I don't know how to choose a good school there. Could you help me? How do I know if the school is good or not?" My teacher says, "This is a very good question. I believe that when you read, listen, and speak a lot, you don't have to go to school. You will learn English naturally by using it. However, if you want to pay for your education, a good teacher can help you speed up the process of learning. If you want to know if your school is good, before the first lesson of the course, go to www.testlanguages.com. There, you can find how many words you know. After 5 lessons at the new school, do the test again and you can see how many new words you learned. If you are happy with your progress, you can continue paying for your lessons. It is also important that you enjoy every lesson and look forward to the next one. It is important to enjoy every activity which you do with English. I also give private lessons via Skype. If you are interested, I can teach you via Skype. If you don't find a good school in your town, you can contact me and I can help you." "This is great," says the student. "I want to have private lessons with you via Skype. This is great news for me." I didn't know that it was possible to have a private lesson with my teacher. Soon, I'm also going back to my country, and I want to have private lessons with my teacher. When you go to school, you have to see your progress and enjoy every lesson. What to do when you need help. It is Wednesday, and I go to school again. At the beginning of the next lesson, Monica has a question for my teacher. She asks her, "How do you know all of this? Where did you learn information about studying languages?" Our teacher says, there are many ways to gain knowledge on how to learn and teach languages. The first one is experience. I have been teaching for more than 7 years. I have many years of experience. When I teach you, I observe what works and what doesn't, and then I use only things that help. I also study materials about learning languages on the internet. When I find something interesting, I test it in one of my classes. If it works, I use it in all other classes. There is also another way I get information. It is usually during moments when I have a question but can't find an answer. During these moments, I go and visit my magic park and I get the answer there. Monica tells my teacher, "This is interesting. How do you get the answers in the magic park? Where is the magic park? Can we go there too?" My teacher says, "What I am going to tell you is not real to everybody. If it sounds crazy, I am sorry. However, you asked for it, so I am giving you the answer. I believe that if you have a question and you ask the universe for an answer, the answer comes. When I have a question, I go to the magic park. I sit on a bench, I relax my body, I slow down my breathing, and I try to free my mind. Then I ask the question. This is all. Sometimes the answer comes as a new idea in my head. Sometimes somebody who I speak to later tells me something that helps me get the answer. Sometimes I watch an interesting video on the internet and find the answer there. Sometimes the answers come the next day in the morning when I wake up. What is interesting is the fact that the answers keep coming. I am so grateful for them. As I said, you don't have to believe what I am telling you, but this is what I do and how it works for me. The park is not very far from here. It is a 10-minute walk. A lot of people go to the park to relax. It is beautiful. It has a very nice atmosphere. I call it a magic park because it is magical for me. My teacher's words are very interesting to me. I didn't know that people could ask the universe for answers. Maybe in the future, when I have some interesting questions, I can go to the park and also ask for an answer. When you have a problem with something, ask for help. Summary. The next day, one girl asks our teacher an interesting question. She says, "Thank you for the information you are giving us on how to learn English. Could you give us a summary with rules on what we can do every day to learn English well?" Our teacher says, "Okay, I will try to give you a simple summary. If you want to speak English well, you need to do 3 things. You have to read, listen, and speak. You already know that. What is important is that you do all these 3 activities for the same amount of time. If you leave one out, then your progress will not be as fast as it could be. From my experience, I can say that it is important to use English every day for at least 90 minutes. You don't have to study, but you should use English actively. Now I will explain every activity in more detail. Let's start with reading. You should read for at least 30 minutes every day. It is the minimum. Don't read to study English. Read to get some new information. Read to enjoy an interesting story. I know that I repeat this information again and again, but it is really important. Then you should listen to English for at least 30 minutes every day. Again, it should be something which you are interested in. You should enjoy getting the information. You should start to listen to simple audiobooks or news first. Then, you should go to a higher and higher level of books and news. When you know 2,000 words, you should start watching films and videos on the internet. Then, you should speak. You already know how important it is to speak when you study English. Again, it is important to speak for at least 30 minutes every day. Of course, the best way is to speak to real people. It can be your teacher, your classmates, colleagues, or friends. Try to find somebody who is at your level of English or a little bit better and speak with this person. However, if you have nobody to speak to, by shadowing and thinking aloud, you can also get a lot of speaking practice every day. I use these techniques very often when I learn Spanish. I don't have any native Spanish speakers in my life who I would meet every day, so I use these 2 techniques to improve my Spanish. As you can see, studying English is simple. All you have to do is read, listen, and speak. This is all. Now you know how to do it. "Thank you," says the girl. "This is what I needed to hear. You are the best." I am also very glad that the girl asked this question. It was my last day at school, and I needed some kind of summary of what I could do on my own. During the 4 weeks I have spent with my teacher, I have learned a lot. I have also improved my English very much. My teacher knows that this is my last day at school. She asks me if I want to say something to the other students in the class. I say that I was very happy to be a part of this class and that I met a lot of nice people. I give everybody my email address and tell them that they can contact me if they want to. Then I say goodbye to everybody. I'm a little sad, but I know that I have to continue with my life. I can't be at school forever. Now it is up to me to improve my English. I have all the tools I need. Now it is 1 year after my last day at school. I have used English every day. I use the techniques from my teacher. Now I know 4,000 words in English. It is great. I also have a new job. I start to teach English. I teach beginners who know only 500 words. It is good for me because I know that I need a lot of practice as a teacher before I can teach at higher levels. I have one great advantage in my new job. I had a great teacher in London. I learned a lot from her. Now I am trying to give all I learned from my teacher to my students. I want them to be successful as well. When you want to learn English, read, listen, and speak. Do each activity for 30 minutes every day.